everybody, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jolie. I am 23 years old. I am from Philadelphia and I'm an aspiring nurse. I want to start off by saying thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. It means a lot to me, and it took a lot of courage to do this, to make this video. Failing out of nursing school was very embarrassing, very disappointing, very devastating for me. A lot of people probably that are watching this video did not know that I failed out of nursing school. Well, surprise, now you know. And like I said, it took a lot for me to make this video. So I just thank you guys for watching and for hearing my story. I created this channel for people like me who went through what I went through but did not have anywhere to look, who didn't know where to go. When you fail out of nursing school, that's not really a topic that most people talk about or will gloat about. And it was so difficult, and it was so embarrassing, and it just took a lot out of me. But I want to be able to share my testimony with you all so that if you fail out of a nursing program, if you think you're going to fail, if you know someone who has failed, this is for you. I want to be 110% transparent with you all and share my journey with you so that it may encourage you and motivate you to keep going no matter what. So enough of the mushy stuff. Let's get into the story of why we're all here. Okay? All right. So in 2016, I started Newman University, fresh out of high school, 18 years old. I went to Philadelphia High School for Girls. It was a special admission school, college preparatory. So I was very prepared for college. I took AP classes. I did all of that. So I was very prepared for college. My first 2 years of nursing school, I did pretty well because, you just take the prerequisites and like intro nursing classes. Spring semester, junior year is where everything went downhill. So I was taking maternity and I was taking med-surg too. And you hear maternity and you think, oh my God, babies, like, oh my God, so cute. Yeah, same. Little did I know in maternity, it was going to be difficult because you're not only learning about how to take care of baby, but you're learning how to take care of mom and baby at the same time. Very difficult. For me, at least. Maybe it was easier for some, but it was difficult for me. So let's get into why I failed these classes. So fall semester of my junior year, I was offered a job at Christiana Care as a student nurse extern in the ICU. I mean, a fabulous, wonderful opportunity. I could not turn it down. I was like, yes, I'm going to take it. I can do my residency when I graduate. I can work in the ICU or work anywhere I want in the hospital. I already have like my foot in the door. This is perfect. I'm set up. So the only issue with that was the very first day of orientation, which was mandatory, fell on the same exact day as my first maternity exam. I was like, you have to be joking. I was going to curse, but I don't want to curse on this channel because I know my family's watching. So I had a choice to make. It was, do I go to this orientation? I mean, I was making good money if I was to go to this job. Or do I go to take the first exam? After speaking with my parents and friends and professors, my professors let me know, listen, if this is what you have to do, if you feel in your heart you have to miss the exam, that's fine, miss it. But you will have to take an alternative format exam. And for those of you who don't know, an alternative format exam is, in nursing, is not the general multiple choice, select all that apply. It is fill in the blank. What do you see? Like, what is this arrow pointing to? And 9 times, first of all, I can't even hardly see, like, without my glasses. So I don't even know what people are pointing to in general. So I couldn't even tell you what those questions, what the arrows were pointing to. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll take the alternative format exam and we'll go from there. So I went to my orientation. It was great. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna get so much experience. Like, this is wonderful. I took my alternative format exam. I had studied my behinds off, and I'm like, I'll be fine. I studied. I know all the material. Failed it. A passing grade in Newman was a 77. I think I got somewhere in the 60s, maybe like the mid 60s. I don't know, but I failed. At the same time, I was also devastated because I was already not understanding Med-Surg 2. I was failing this class too. I convinced myself that I had to pull through and make it because I was graduating in 4 years. And let me just tell you, if you're still in school, if you're in nursing school, if you're, if you're doing business, if you're doing physical therapy, if you're doing criminal justice, if you're doing psychology, do not be in a rush to graduate in 4 years, because it is so much more important to have your mental health and your stability than to be like, I'm graduating in 4 years. It's not important. It's really not. It's just like this, it's this crazy idea that your success has to have a timeline, because it doesn't. I was one of those people that I was like, I have to graduate in 4 years. I'm going to be a nurse at 22, a nurse practitioner at 25. Like, I had everything set up, but your timeline is what's going to bite you in your behind. So I should have withdrew from Med-Surg 2. Maternity, I started to do a little bit better. I learned how to study for her class, how to take her tests, and I did, the calculations. And if I would have gotten a 79 on the final, I would have passed the class. And I was like, I can do that. A 79? What? I can do a 79. I did the calculations for Med-Surg, and I'm like, okay, I got this on this test. I got this. And I looked and I'm like, no, this is not right. So I had one of my friends do the calculations for me. I even went to my professor. And, child, I needed 102 on the final. In order to pass the class. And I really thought like somebody was joking. I'm like, where's the cameras? Y'all really, like, this is not real. Like, there's no way I need a 102 to pass this class. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if I fail Med-Surg 2, I can still pass maternity and retake Med-Surg 2 in the fall. That was my plan. So I'm studying. I took off work to study. Like, I did everything I had to do, and I go to take the finals. And Med-Surg, I mean, I tried, but it was no possible way to get a 102 on that final. And then for maternity, I thought I did fairly well. So I took my finals and I went back to my dorm room because I stayed on campus to pack my belongings, and I drove home. One of my good friends, Miss Deja, she texted me. She's like, grades are in. I don't know what she got out of like telling us all the time that grades were in, but that's what she did. Every time a grade went in, she texted my phone and told me. So she's like, grades are in, and I'm just like, just pulling up to my house. I'm in the car and I'm like, okay, well, I failed Med-Surg. I'm gonna retake it. I'm still crying though because I never failed a class before. So I'm like, let me check my grades, check Med-Surg, failed it. Okay, crying about that. But it's okay. I'm gonna keep going. Checked maternity and I got a 77. So I passed the exam, but I failed the class. Was not expecting that. So, I mean, at this point, my ears were ringing. I lost taste in my mouth. I felt paralyzed. I feel like I don't even remember. I just know I was screaming, crying. It was devastating. I mean, like, it was horrible. My mom had to come outside and gather me, and, we went in the house, and I just couldn't even talk to her. I just gave her my phone and just told her to look. And so, fast forward, I got my stuff together, and my options were, well, you can appeal to get back in the program. I did that. I mean, I did have some personal issues. I was working. It was a lot going on at that time that contributed to me failing. And they let me back in the program. And I was like, wow, okay. But I didn't deal with the issues that I had to deal with from the first time. I didn't deal with my depression. I didn't deal with my anxiety. I didn't deal with the plethora of other personal issues that had led to me failing out of this program. So I failed again, and this time for good. they were not gonna let me back into that program. And I guess rightfully so, right? So one of my professors looks at me and says, maybe nursing isn't for you. And I'm already crying, you know, snotty nose, want to fall out everywhere. And she said this to me. And I'm just like, maybe you don't know me. Like, I'm not doing anything else. This is what I want to do. So she's like, well, you're a senior now. You have enough credits to graduate, you know, in the spring. You gave us so much money, so much time. The only thing we can offer you is a liberal arts degree. A liberal arts degree? You couldn't even give me a health science degree? I mean, I took multiple nursing and science courses. But you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm transferring. So for a couple weeks, I just was telling my mom, I'm not going back to school. I'm not going back there. I'm not going back. They want to give me a liberal arts degree. Nothing wrong with that, but I had my mind set and my heart set on nursing. So she finally talked me back into going to school, and I went back to school, and I just couldn't go to class. I couldn't go to class. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do my work. I couldn't do anything. I was super depressed for months, the whole first semester. It wasn't until like November I went to counseling. I went to see a therapist, and I started antidepressants, and I was like, I can't live like this. I cannot live like this. What am I going to do? I want to be a nurse. I still want to be a nurse. What am I going to do? And so it was at that moment in therapy that I was like venting to her. And she looked at me and she said, I believe you can still do it, but you have to want to do it. I know that sounds so simple. Like, if you want to do it, you'll do it. But when you're depressed, when you're ashamed of yourself, when you're embarrassed, and I mean, it was embarrassing. I went to a school where in the nursing program, everyone was in your business. What did you get on that exam? What do you need on the final? Oh my God, did you know so-and-so? Like, stuff like that. And it was just like, I could not even walk out of my room without someone saying, like, I didn't see you in class today. Girl, I mean, you saw me in every other class. Why do you think you didn't see me in class today? So my priority really was not to be seen. A lot of people didn't know. So I was just super depressed, and I was like, I'm never gonna be a nurse. I finally, like I said, got the courage to get myself together, because I'm like, I do not want to be in this school forever. I am not going to be in this school forever. So I got it all together. I graduated, got my degree in liberal arts. I have a bachelor's in that. And I'm like applying to accelerated nursing programs, because that's usually the option when you have a bachelor's already. And that's how you will become a nurse, with your BSN. What they don't tell you is that if you are dismissed from a nursing program for an academic reason, most accelerated programs will not accept you. Most, not all, but most. So, of course, I went through that. And then I'm like, wow, back at square one, I'm not going to get into nursing school. I applied to the school that I'm in now. I am back in nursing school. It's an RN associates program. So I'm gonna go here for 2 years. I'm in my second semester now, in January. In the beginning, though, I will say, my GPA was 2.8. I had failed so many classes. My transcripts weren't looking the best. And I'm like, wow, they're not gonna accept me. I took my T's, got a good grade on my T's, but they still waitlisted me. And I just knew at this point, like, I'm not gonna get in. My prerequisites are gonna expire, because they have like a 5-year like limit on prerequisites and all that. And they waitlisted me. 4 or 5 weeks later, I get an email saying that I had been accepted into the program. And I mean, like, I thought I was dreaming. I'm like, there's no way they accepted me into their nursing program. And I was just so thankful. I'm like, thank God. Like, oh my God, he heard my prayers. Like, I am going to be a nurse. So now I am in school, and I am doing well, so much better than the first time around. I have reconstructed my whole entire life around school. And it's just so much better this time around. Yes, I still have to go back to get my bachelor's after I get my RN, but I am humble and I'm grateful to be here. So I shared this with you to let you all know that it is possible. It's not just you. You are not the only one. You are not the only one. It has happened to thousands before me and thousands before you, and it's going to be thousands after you. And I just want you to feel safe and knowing that you are enough, that you can do it, that it is possible. Somebody wants you. Somebody's going to see potential in you that you don't see in yourself. So that is my in short story of how I failed and how I'm back in nursing school. Please ask me questions, share your story with me, let me know what you're going through. I'm going to do another video where I answer everybody's questions because I know everyone has questions about how I failed, why I failed, content questions, stuff like that. So ask whatever you need to ask. Share this video with people that need to see it. Subscribe so that you can see my content and follow my journey throughout nursing school until I get that bachelor's, because I will be very transparent, like I said, with my whole entire journey. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know I tried to fit so much in one video and it was still kind of long, but thank you guys so much. It means so much to me. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thank you. Mwah.